Hey, what's up you guys? I'm John Turner and welcome back to Woods to Table. Today we're out at the farm pond. I got my daughter Samantha here with me. Sammy has something to say.
I like turtles.
Sammy noticed there were a bunch of turtles in this pond last time we were out here fishing, so we're gonna drop a trot line, see if we can catch a few of them, show you how to cook them up. Stay tuned. All right, so let me show you guys what we're gonna use to rig this thing up. I've got about 200 feet of this paracord that we're gonna stretch across a corner of the pond where we know these turtles hang out. And then I've rigged up 3 of these, I don't know, turtle rigs, I don't know what you call it, 3-way swivels where we've attached about 3 feet of braided line to a sinker that I dug out of my saltwater tackle box. This is about a 2-ounce sinker, and then a piece of steel leader with a snap on the end that we'll hook to our hook, and that's what we'll put our chicken gizzard or turkey neck on that we'll use for our bait. We're just gonna paddle back to this back corner over here, and those turtles like to hang out on that log that's down by those pink flowers. All right, so now we're just gonna tie a simple loop into our trot line, and that's what we're gonna use to attach our rig. So just double it over, loop it around itself. Cool, simple enough. All right, so we'll just attach, I've got some 6/0 and some 8/0 hooks. I know with turtles, you generally wanna go bigger, but I'm not sure how big the turtles are that are in this pond. So I'm gonna attach a few of both. So we'll just put that right on the snap, attach our chicken, good to go. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and attach our milk jugs to some spots on our trot line, just so it holds it afloat overnight. Set the jug in.
All right. Okay, so basically we're just making the turtle line.
That's right.
That looks delicious.
Looks delicious if I was a turtle.
And humans, it would be gross.
Gross. All right, so we made it back to camp. Man, we had a ball just putting out that trot line tonight, just figuring that out for the first time. The mosquitoes got pretty bad. I think if there were a few more of them, they could have carried us away. But we had a great time. So we're just gonna cook up some hot dogs. We got a fire going in the background, and see if we can get these bugs under control. Man, this is so much fun. I'm so glad to be out here with Sam. Usually when I come hunting and camping, it's usually with Ryan. Or by myself, and I'm so glad that Sam expressed an interest in coming this time around, and hope that this becomes, you know, a habit in the future. You come join me a lot of the time out here because it's so much fun. It's great when your kids express an interest. When they do, you got to take them up on it. You got to get them into the outdoors. It's worth the effort, I promise you. Even bugs and everything aside, they're loving these lights right now. So we're gonna turn these lights out. We're gonna grill these dogs and get in bed because we got an early morning in the morning. Gonna get after those turkeys.
Look. Delicious.
Hey, Sammy.
Hi.
All right, day 2. We're back to check the trot line, see if we got some turtles on here. Turkey hunting was a little bit of a, I won't call it a bust. We still had a great time this morning. We had a close encounter with a bird that just came up at an angle where we couldn't get a shot, and then it kind of slipped back off into the woods, and about 15 minutes later, well, that bird was going home in the back of somebody else's truck. But I guess that's hunting, and to some degree I guess that's life. So we're not gonna let that get us down. We're still having a great time out here.
We're gonna see if there's any turtles.
Yeah.
And any fish, because I want to get some turtles. Because I like turtles.
Sammy likes turtles, if you haven't heard that yet.
I like turtles.
We're gonna go check this trot line, and if there's no turtles on that, we're on to plan C. We're gonna catch some fish. There's all kind of stuff we can do out here. We're having a great time.
Oof.
It's never a good sign when your quarry is sitting on a log right over the top of your milk jugs.
Huh?
There's a turtle sitting on the log right by our milk jugs, meaning he's not on my hook. Well, this one, the hook is bare.
It's bare.
The hook is bare.
Something got it?
Yeah, I think something got it. I don't think there's anything on this one either. The hook is bare. Something robbed us.
Yeah. Is there a turtle? Not turtle. Is there a turtle in there? Looks like it.
There's a turtle.
There's a turtle! We got a turtle! We got one! Is that snapping?
I don't know.
Like IDK?
I don't know.
Oh no! He's falling! Get him! Oh, he's still on.
That is a big
Turtle!
snapping turtle.
Snapping turtle!
Yeah.
Then it's yours.
Whew. You still filming?
Yep.
We got a success here, people. We have a big snapping turtle in all these weeds.
There's like in all these weeds. Great.
And we're gonna close him up in there, and we'll do the big reveal here in a little bit.
Yep.
Okay?
Like and subscribe if you want to do, if you want us to do this again.
Oh, we got a big old turtle on the line here. So, this was a success. We're gonna definitely, he's bigger than I thought. I haven't seen one this size in this pond before, so we're gonna put something on this lid, hold him in there, because I don't want him biting me while we make our way back up the bank to fish. All right, so that was a success. I'm a little bit surprised. I didn't know what to think, if that was gonna work or not, but you know, first time we tried it. So for what it's worth, that turtle actually got hooked on the 5/0 circle hook instead of the 8/0. You picked the bait clean off the 8/0s. And I'm excited. We're gonna have some turtle soup and maybe cook this up a couple of other ways. I know, Sammy's a little bit sad. Maybe we can find her a box turtle some other way, but we're gonna catch some fish. We're still got a lot of daylight out here. There's no reason to go home just yet. All right, so we've made it home with one very ill-tempered snapping turtle, and you're gonna have to be very careful around these things because I've never seen it, but I've heard they can bite a broom handle in two. One thing I'm sure is I don't want my fingers in there. So he does have the hook still lodged in his mouth. So I'm just gonna pull him up just a little bit and close the lid of this where I know there's no way he can lunge forward and get me. And I've got to cut this steel wire leader because that hook is in his mouth and that drumstick is in his mouth, which is the bait that we were fishing with on our trot line. So if he has any hope of passing all that, it's going to be with the leader cut loose, because I don't want him to try to digest all the, triple swivel and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to put him into a large garbage can, fill that about halfway with water, put a head of cabbage in there, and let him, hopefully, if he can pass that drumstick out of his mouth and eat that cabbage, and just leave him in clean water for 3 or 4 days. Just let him pass that stuff out, clean him out. The meat's going to taste a lot better. I would not do that to my camera.
We know you wouldn't.
All right, so we're ready to cook up an amazing traditional turtle soup tonight. It is Easter Sunday. I'm so excited for this dinner. I'm so excited just to spend some time together as a family. We have so much to be thankful for. We're blessed in so many ways. I separated out the clean portion of this video, and I'm going to put it in a separate video. I'll put the link down in the description. If you want to look and see how to clean up a turtle or snapping turtle, feel free to check out that video. We've gone ahead and cleaned up the turtle and quartered it out and got the meat all ready to go. We've got the ingredients ready, and we're going to get this soup started, because this is definitely a labor of love. It takes a lot of time to fix this meal. This isn't kind of a cut it up and set it and forget it. This isn't a crock pot kind of a dinner. It's going to take 3 to 4 hours in order to fix this, but it's going to be delicious. Stick around. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our turtle meat. We took about a pound of the meat that we took out of this turtle. We added just some regular Creole seasoning to the meat, and we're going to put this into a medium-sized stock pot with a couple of tablespoons of oil in the bottom, just heated to about medium-high heat. We're going to add this meat just to brown it on all sides, continue to stir it, and add Creole seasoning just to cover it on all sides. We're going to cook this for up to about 20 minutes until all of your liquid or your oil is cooked out of the pan. All right, that is browning up nicely. It's smelling good. We're only about halfway through the cook time, so it's looking like that's going to be fantastic. A lot of people ask, why turtles, right? Why bother harvesting a turtle? And the reality is we have a major predation problem at the farm pond where we like to fish. A couple years ago, you could go out there and catch all the fish that you wanted, and now you can barely catch anything or anything of any size. The reality is snapping turtles, otters have just decimated the fish population, and so we harvest a few of those each year in order to try to even the odds for our fish, and they taste delicious. All right, so once the oil and the liquid are mostly gone out of the pan, we're going to add a bunch of other vegetables and I don't know, aromatics to this, I guess you call them. So we've got a half a cup of celery, a cup of onion, a cup of chopped bell pepper, and about a tablespoon of minced garlic. And we're going to add those to the stock pot and stir those constantly until they're fully combined. Okay, once those have been stirred, you're going to add about a half a teaspoon of crushed thyme and 2 bay leaves, and just continue to stir everything that's in your pot. Ooh, that looks nice. Looking good. All right, so we're going to reduce the heat down to medium, and then we're going to let this just saute for 20 or 25 minutes and stir it every so often whenever you walk by it. And considering how good it smells, I'm probably going to walk by it a lot. All right, so one of the main ingredients for our turtle soup is going to be the tomato puree. We're going to take 2 medium-sized tomatoes and just throw them into our bullet blender, add a little bit of salt, and then we're going to blend this just for a couple of seconds, just until it turns into a nice liquid consistency. Done. We'll set that aside for a little bit until we get to that part of the recipe. All right, so this is sauteed for about 20 minutes now, so we're ready to get the soup part of this going. We're gonna go ahead and add our tomato puree that we made a little bit ago. And we're gonna add 8 cups or 64 ounces of beef broth to the mixture. All right, stir this up. Then we're gonna bring this to a boil on high heat. As soon as it starts to boil, We're gonna reduce the heat and let that simmer for 30 minutes. And there's gonna be a little bit of this, there's gonna be a little bit of fat that kind of rises to the top after you go through the simmer process. As you go through it, so skim that off the top and let it keep simmering for a half hour. All right, so while the soup is simmering for a half hour, we're gonna go ahead and start making our roux. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna add to a half a cup of vegetable oil. We brought up the temperature on medium-low heat. Yeah.
Don't get too close.
We're gonna slowly add a half a cup of flour and stir that in with a wooden spoon. And don't get this oil too hot and don't add it too fast, or you'll be adding about a half a cup of aloe to your recipe in the form of, applying it liberally to your skin like we did. So we're minus 1 sauce dish, 1 golf shirt, and about 16 layers of skin from the last take that we did of this. And stir to combine. Yep.
What a freaking mess in here.
Oh, you freaking kidding me? All right, let's get cracking because I got boiling oil all over my skin. I gotta get.
Turtle soup gone wrong. It's more of a sprinkle of the flour.
Yeah, we're just gonna add the flour slowly, maybe as the oil comes up in temperature, and just kind of stir that in. Much safer this time around.
That was crazy.
Man, it hurt. Holy cow. Don't get your oil too hot, and then just slowly add the flour. Okay, so now that we've combined the flour and the oil and we've cooked that for about 3 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and start to stir this into our soup just a little bit at a time, and just continue to whisk it as you pour this in. You don't want this to create lumps out of the roux that you just made. Okay, so since we combined the roux with the soup, we've had that on simmer for about 25 minutes, just letting that combine. We're gonna add 1 cup of dry sherry cooking wine. And then a little bit of hot sauce. And a little bit of Worcestershire. No more than 2 tablespoons of each. Stir to combine both of those, and then we're gonna let that simmer. Actually, we're gonna bring this to a boil and then let it simmer for another 30 minutes. And always, as you're doing this, combining all these ingredients, as you see any foam or any fat start rising to the top of the soup, you're gonna skim that off with a slotted spoon. And let that go. We'll come back and check it again, do our next step. All right, so once that's been simmering for a while, we just want to add the juice from 1 lemon, stir that in, let that simmer for another 15 to 20 minutes, and then continue to skim any foam or fat off the top. All right, believe it or not, we are almost there. This looks like it's gonna be fantastic. So we're just gonna add 2 hard scrambled eggs that we've chopped up into really small pieces, and about 5 ounces of rough chopped spinach to the mix. And I know you've heard me say it like 15 times, but this time we don't actually have to simmer this for 25 more minutes. This has been a labor of love. This has been ongoing for a number of hours. It smells great. I can't wait to get this into some bowls. Let's get some people to taste test this. I bet it's gonna be awesome. What do you think, Ron?
Good.
I think it's delicious.
I can survive a million days with this.
It's delicious.
Well, there you have it.
The only thing that I regret about this being absolutely delicious is how hard it is to get and to fix.
It's a long
It is a long process. It's a labor of love to catch a turtle, to clean a turtle, and cook this soup and this meal. It takes a long time, but absolutely worth it. This was phenomenal, and I can't wait. The family's gonna sit down and enjoy this tonight and just have an amazing Easter dinner. I'm so excited about this. And one of the great things about it that I realized as I was getting all the ingredients that we needed to cook this, we're going through the grocery store, and all the ingredients, or I'd say most of the ingredients, were probably within a 20-foot section in the produce section of the grocery store. So it's incredibly healthy, incredibly light, and it tastes so, so good. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.